Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm talking about where to put your savings and the most common methods of saving money. Are you interested in saving money but you don't really know what type of account to put your money into? Then stick around because that's exactly what I'm talking about in today's video. I just wanted to put a disclaimer out there for you guys. This is very basic and a quick overview of the different savings options. I am not a professional, so make sure to do your own research and or talk to a professional to discuss the best option for your specific situation. The first thing that you have to do is decide what the goal of that savings is. Are you looking to travel as soon as restrictions are lifted? Who knows, 6 months from now? Are you looking to build a rainy day fund? Are you looking to build your emergency fund? Maybe you're trying to save for retirement, or maybe you've got this picture in your mind of purchasing a house 10 years from now. Whatever the goal is, you want to make sure that you know it, because that goal will determine where you put your money. Let's discuss short-term savings options first. I found a lot of different definitions of what short-term means, but for the purposes of this video, we're gonna say that short-term means anytime from now to 7 years from now. The first option that we're gonna discuss is a high-yield savings account. The interest rates for these are typically 1%, and these are highly liquid accounts, which basically just means that it's really easy to access your money when you need it. And there's almost zero risk with this type of account, which means you are basically guaranteed that you will get whatever money you put in back. The next savings options that we're going to discuss is a money market account. Now, I actually had never heard of a money market account before researching for this video, but what it is it's basically a savings account with some checking account features. These features include having either checks or a debit card. However, you still have a limited number of transactions per month that you can have, and typically you do need to have a higher beginning balance than what is normally required of a high yield savings account. Just like with a high yield savings account, it is highly liquid, there's almost zero risk with this account, and the interest rate is typically around 1%. The next option for where to put your money is a certificate of deposit, more commonly known as a CD. What it is it's a savings account with a fixed rate and term. Basically, what happens is you commit to putting your money in for a certain amount of time so that you can receive a higher interest rate. Once that time has passed, you then have the option to either take the money out and use it, or you can put it into another CD for whatever amount of time you decide to commit to. Depending on the length term, the interest rate is higher than the other options that I've talked about previously in this video. The best 5-year CDs can give you an interest rate of 2.2%. However, I've noticed that shorter term CDs give you around 1%, just like the other options that I've mentioned. And because of this, there is relatively low risk with this option. Really quick, here are some honorable mentions that I just wanted to throw out into this video. Now, when I say honorable mentions, I mean these were titles of accounts that I saw in my research, but weren't common enough for me to actually research on them. So I have no idea what they are. I could tell you nothing about them. I'm still gonna share the names with you. These are cash management accounts, corporate bond funds, and US government bond funds. There you go. Those were the honorable mentions. Now, going back to the 3 options that I've already discussed in this video, some examples of goals that you might have in order for you to put your money in these different options include vacationing as soon as quarantine is over, or an emergency fund, or a rainy day fund, something short term. And especially with the CD, say you are committed to going on vacation a year from now. You know the date, you just need a place to park that money where hopefully you can also gain some return with it as well. A CD could be a good option for that because you know the fixed amount of time when you will need that money. However, it won't entirely work with a rainy day fund or an emergency fund because as far as I know, there's a penalty for taking your money out early. So once you put it in a CD, it's there until the amount of time you've committed to has passed. So now that we've talked about the short-term options, let's discuss some of the long-term options. Now, when I say long-term, I mean anywhere from 7 years to the rest of your life. Some examples of why you would want to put your money in the long-term savings options is to save for retirement, to save for a future child's college education. Maybe you want to purchase a home in 20 years from now and you're thinking early. Or, you know, maybe you just want to build wealth. Nothing wrong with that. It's kind of what I'm interested in the most. Yeah. At the same time, who isn't? Anyways, depending on your goal, one of these options could be great for you and your situation. Let's discuss. The first option is an individual retirement account, otherwise known as IRA. This is an account that allows an individual to save for retirement with either a tax-deductible, tax-free growth, or on a tax-deferred basis. And from my research, I found that the main difference between the different types of IRAs are tax related. We're not going to talk about taxes a whole lot in this video because that is a whole can of worms that I'm not ready to open yet. We're not there yet. Now, IRAs are really set in stone in that there is a penalty to take out any money before the age of 59 and a half, and there's usually a cap on how much money you can contribute to your IRA per year. It's usually between $6,000 and $7,000. There are different types of IRAs. There are the types for individuals who are employees of someone else, and then there are IRAs specific to small businesses and entrepreneurs. Two different categories, but there are different options within those. We're not going to go into depth about them, but let me just briefly share the names. So there's the traditional IRA, which I mainly talked about. There is a Roth IRA, which you may have heard that term. It's pretty common. And then for the small business or entrepreneur side of the coin, you have SEP IRA and Simple IRA. Now, Simple is in all caps, so I don't know if I'm supposed to say SIMPLE IRA. I don't know. The next option is employer-sponsored retirement accounts. Now, this is what most of us have heard, a 401k. If you work for a company, that's usually part of the benefits, is to contribute from your paycheck to a 401k. A 401k is a retirement plan that allows qualified employees of a company to invest and save for retirement on a tax-deferred basis. So what happens is you sign up for this 401k program, and then part of your paycheck is deducted from your paycheck and put into that 401k. And then some companies match up to a certain percentage of what you contribute. Some companies don't. A lot of companies do. Let's talk about the different college accounts that are here for parents who want to start saving up for their kids' education. So first, within the college accounts, let's talk about the Coverdell Education Savings Account, otherwise known as an ESA. This is a tax-deferred trust account set up by the government to help families fund education for beneficiaries 18 years and younger. Now, with this program, there is a limit of $2,000 that you can contribute per year. Let me just briefly touch on the other account that I wanted to mention, a 529 account. This is a specialized savings account used to save money for college. So now, moving away from the college sector, let's talk about the biggest investment strategy that people use, I'm talking about stocks and bonds, y'all. And within this, there are a ton of different options, and I'm going to touch briefly on some of them. First, let's talk about bonds. So, a bond is a type of investment in a government project or facility or something along those lines that acts as a loan for government agencies to bring in funds for something. Now, a stock, on the other hand, is a type of investment that represents an ownership in a company. You can buy an individual stock, or you can diversify it by investing in mutual funds, index funds, and exchange-traded funds, otherwise known as ETFs. Let's start with a mutual fund. A mutual fund is a group of stocks or bonds in a specific industry or category that is chosen by a portfolio manager. Now, an index fund is almost the same as a mutual fund, but there's no portfolio manager. So an index fund is a group of stocks in a category. However, index funds can only be sold or bought at the price that is set at the end of each trading day. ETFs, exchange traded funds, on the other hand, can be bought and sold at a price that fluctuates pretty consistently throughout the day. Now, of course, all of these options that I mentioned bring more reward the longer that money is in that account. So ETFs and mutual funds, they benefit you a lot more if you leave them in for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. The longer you leave them in generally, the more gain that you will get. However, just a heads up, any investment that you make, you want to make sure that you are looking into the tax repercussions of receiving gains from that investment. So if I buy a stock for $20, let's say, and then that $20 doubles, it's kind of unrealistic. It's okay. We're just gonna go with it. Then I sell that stock, and I'm left with $40. Well, that $20 extra is gonna be taxed. So like I said before, we're not gonna go too far into it, but just make sure you do your research. What I don't want to see happen is that you are surprised by that information come tax season when you find out that you owe the IRS more money than you thought you did. Yeah, no one likes that. So make sure you do your own research on that specifically so that you know what happens when you take out an investment where you've received gains on. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and give the video a like and comment down below what your favorite method of saving money is. Remember to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell because my next video is all about budgeting for beginners. A couple months ago, I did a video with that in mind, and it was really poorly done, and I feel like it wasn't a beginner video. It was also just really long and really boring. So next week, it's going to be short, sweet, precise, and specifically for beginners. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I will see you on Wednesday with another video. Bye! Like a CD, like to play music. Okay.